kicks on his feet. He looks up and gives me a grin and says, "Hey dude, you too must be from Marin." Marin County's A-OK, from Tam to Stinson all the way to MA. Fresh organic veggies in the market every day. The Dennis, Dylan, and NWA.
Welcome back to the Run TMC podcast. That's the Run the Marin County podcast, a podcast about basketball in Marin County. This is Dave Levine, and my friend and co-host Duffy Ballard and I are thrilled to present the fourth and final episode of the New Year week, a gift to our listeners, a week of interviews. But before we get to the interviews, let's have a quick shout out to our sponsors, North Bay Basketball Academy, or NBBA, The Hub in San Anselmo, Karen Horstmeyer Real Estate, Jesse and Laurent, and the Nike camps at San Domenico. And now let's get another clip from the Bambauer tournament taken by our crack reporter, Duffy Ballard. Take it away, Duff.
Hey guys, it's Ethan Castle. I run a podcast and blog called Bay Preps Insider. I've formerly done work with the San Francisco Standard, Examiner, Chronicle, Prep to Prep, and a few other locations as well. I am all about high school sports, especially high school basketball, and met Coach Ballard this week at the Bambauer Classic, which was an awfully fun time, as it is every year. Up there with the Gridley Invitational was one of my favorite weeks of the entire basketball season. A few keys to running a good tournament. You got to have a good mix of teams, and while this tournament was an almost all NCS field, it was teams across different leagues, different divisions, different school sizes, different styles of play. There were a couple of CCS teams, a Sac Joaquin team, one SoCal team. Maybe the deepest field they've ever had, just looking at the quality of games in the consolation bracket. You got to have a good hospitality room, and they certainly did. And some of the local Mexican food that they brought in was excellent, and I've had a lot of Mexican food. I can tell you it's right up there with some of the best. It was from a local place called Celia's, I believe. And you got to be good at keeping your games on time. You know, that's not always going to happen. You're going to have something that runs long because it goes to overtime or there were a bunch of late fouls. We stayed just about within 30 minutes of schedule for every game, all 4 days, which is hard to pull off, especially in a 16-team tournament. It was also great that, unlike the past couple years between COVID and then last year's travel issues, we actually got all 16 teams there and able to play all 4 games. So, hooray to that. First time that's happened since the 2019 tournament. I was surprised that there weren't more teams that stuck around in the Bay Area this week. There are normally, like a decade ago, this used to be a week for a lot of big tournaments, whereas now the 2 really big ones still going on in the Bay Area are Bambauer and Damian Lillard. St. Francis moved their Joe Schramm Classic earlier, so they can go down south this week. St. Ignatius hasn't hosted the Sand Dune Classic in a few years. That was a longtime favorite, one that the Burlingame teams that I worked with when I was in school went to. But even when I was in high school, I was always super jealous because Mills would go to Bambauer, and it was like, oh my God, they're going to a tournament with 4 days of games, 16 teams. They're playing games all day. That sounds like the coolest thing ever.
Okay, on to our last interview of the New Year's week of interviews. Happy New Year to our listeners. Last but not least, this one was a good one. Brooke Smith. Like I said in the interview, not a controversial statement that probably the best basketball player, man or woman, to come out of Marin. McDonald's All-American, WNBA champion, Stanford grad, amazing player. This was really cool to interview her. I've known Brooke forever. I coached her in 8th grade, as I mentioned. And it was.
I think that came up once
really
or twice in an interview.
I don't like to talk about it, Duff. I think I like Buck Chavez. I think I mentioned that I coached Brooke Smith in 8th grade in every interview, or really in every conversation. I was at Starbucks today and I mentioned it in San Diego. I will say that I thought it would be helpful for our listeners, given this week of interviews, to let you know when we conducted these interviews, just to level set. So Brooke was actually the most recent interview that we've done, this was in mid-December. I think it was December 14th was the actual day when we were in our kitchen, Duff. Karen Horstmeyer was November 9th. Kenny and Jordan was November 13th. And Jeff Skaggs was all the way back in the first week of October. So that's when we conducted these interviews, in case you sense there's some things that we've said that we've repeated since, because we've done these kind of all over. Anyway, right. Duffy, thoughts on Brooke?
Well, first of all, to our listeners, if your New Year's resolution was to listen to one Run TMC podcast a day for the first week of the year, you're almost there. This is Friday, January 5th. We're dropping this podcast, and MCal league play begins tonight. So that's very exciting. But this was a great interview. It's an honor for me to meet a player, Brooke's stature, and sort of you could see how, even though she's fairly mild-mannered, she doesn't come across as being intense, but you could see the intensity in her, the will to win, the will to get better and be an expert at whatever she does. So I was very impressed with that, Dave. I do have one more thought, but I'll let you chime in before I come back to my last thought.
I was just thinking as you were saying that, Duff, and I'd love to hear your last thought, but like when I mentioned in the Jeff Skaggs interview, the word that comes to mind when I think of Jeff is positive, and the word that comes to mind when I think of Brooke is competitor. She just competes. And she's very, as we mentioned a lot in our discussion, she has incredibly high standards for herself, and she's very hard on herself, is a perfectionist, and she's just a competitor. Man, she played hard.
Yep, absolutely. Last thought is just a thank you to Brooke, because out of our discussion, she was talking about her time with the Mercury and how they really like to press the pace and push the ball up the sidelines. And shortly after that, our archery team started to institute a couple drills based on kind of what she described to try to really encourage that up, quick transition, get people to run the floor. We call it free flow, and it has been a game changer in terms of getting us to share the ball and push pace and get open shots. And so thank you, Brooke, for that. And it's amazing how just the emphasis on it and then a few drills can really change the way a team can play. So that was just what I wanted to mention, Dave, and hopefully we continue to play free flow. And I would suggest to coaches out there, if you have the skill and speed to do it, it's pretty fun when it clicks.
That's very cool. I love hearing those stories. I mean, again, like as we've said, like I'm using, Ashley Saya's shooting drill in our practices at San Domenico. We're incorporating things that we're learning from these interviews. I hope that our listeners are doing the same, whether you're coaches, players, parents. Very cool anecdote. Thank you, Duff. So
these are interviews. These are interviews with benefit. Interviews with benefits.
There you go. Well said. So we hope you've enjoyed this week of interviews. We've certainly had fun talking to these amazing people. We have many more great ones to come. We have a few that we've already banked, and we have a few that we've scheduled that we're very excited about. So keep listening and enjoy this conversation with Brooke.
Yeah. To our listeners, we will go back to a regular schedule, at least next week and moving forward, probably once a week. And we will be focusing once again on local action in high school, also giving some CYO updates. So you can expect probably more of Dave and I talking at each other starting next week. But I hope you enjoyed this week of interviews. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
All right. Brooke Smith, hi.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Okay, we have, I think, not controversial, the best basketball player in Marin history, Duffy. I'm going to say it.
All right, I'm on board.
I'm saying it.
Let's go. We got a hoop in the driveway. Let's go see.
Let's ask Duffy a trivia question, Brooke. Duffy, name all the McDonald All-Americans from Marin.
Brooke Smith.
Okay, good talk. So, Brooke, psyched to have you here. Where do we begin? Well, I'll go through your background to give our listeners some context, and then we want to get into your whole playing career, mainly focusing on your 8th grade A CYO coach. We're going to spend 45 minutes on him. Okay, grew up in San Anselmo.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Played CYO for St. Rita's.
Yes.
Okay, 8A coach, listeners, was me. I coached her in 8th grade. She then went to Marin Catholic, played for Rick DiMartini. What year were you at? 02, 03?
02.
02, okay. And that was that your state title team?
Yeah, my senior year.
And that team was loaded, right?
Yes, we had 8 players go play Division I basketball.
8 Division I players, Duffy.
Yeah.
So Nikki Warren played at BC and USF. Adrian Payne.
Went to West Point.
Yep. Lauren Mikulski.
He went to ASU, walked on, and then Santa Clara.
Casey Lockwood.
Princeton. Lauren Nestor, Princeton. Michelle Gage, Columbia. And Miranda Forey went to UC Irvine.
And then there was a little used player named Brooke Smith who started at Duke and transferred to Stanford.
Yep.
You also played AAU around this time, right? You played for Fulton.
Yep. Mike.
We've mentioned Fulton a couple times on this podcast. Okay, so you go to Duke for 1 season, and then you transferred to Stanford. And this was back in the day before the transfer portal, where when you transferred, you had to sit out a year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that. Very solid career. 3 years at Stanford, averaged 15 points a game, graduated in 2007, and was drafted in the WNBA by the Minnesota Lynx. Then welcome, a 23rd overall pick, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's what the internet told me.
Then that's probably right.
So then, welcome to the business of basketball. You were released by Minnesota.
Yep.
You were picked up by Connecticut.
Yep.
Released by Connecticut.
Yep.
And then you landed in Phoenix.
The next year.
The fall. Okay.
So I didn't play that summer. Went over to Italy and started playing, and then got picked up the next season in Phoenix.
Okay. And then you played 3 years in Phoenix.
Yep.
And won a WNBA title.
Yes. Yeah.
And you went to the White House.
Yes, twice, because they'd won the year before, so I got to go as just like a courtesy my first year, and then I got to go the second year as the actual winner.
Awesome. You played 5 seasons of pro ball in Italy.
Yes, well, mostly Italy. I played half a season in France.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're going to spend a lot of time on your WNBA experience because that's a unique thing. I don't know, have there been any other Marin people playing in the WNBA? I don't think so.
Not that I know of.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to talk about that. So after your playing career, you're now you're in the world of medicine, right?
Yeah, I'm a PA, physician assistant. Yep.
Awesome. You married, live in Mill Valley.
Yep.
2 young kids.
2 young kids, yep.
She's thrilled to be here with me and Duffy, away from the kids. And most recently inducted into this year's Marin Athletic Foundation Hall of Fame. The MC of that event was Dan Dibley, our prior guest. So Brooke, really psyched to have you. I'm going to tell a quick personal story. Duffy, you know I don't like to talk, so I'm going to just tell a quick one here. So I coached Lavin camps in my college days. And when I was at Lavin camp, a guy saw me coaching and he asked me after camp to coach his daughter's 8th grade CYO team. And that guy was Don Briggs. Yeah. And I was, at that time, just starting to work. I had a job in finance. I would get up at 5 a.m. I had to work in the city. I was out of work at 3. And I was like, how am I going to do this? Driving up to Marin, to Fairfax Pavilion, remember where we had our practices? Yep. And coach. And I thought, all right, I'll try it and I'll see if I like it. And I vividly remember going to that first practice and seeing this team and meeting you as an 8th grader. And I was sold when I met you because, first of all, you were in awe of me because I was the practice player for the Stanford women's team. Yeah. You were asking me tons of questions about Tara Vanderveer, and 8th graders don't typically have that level of interest in college basketball. But you were the one that was like, all right, I can do this. And it was one of my favorite experiences. I mean, we only spent, 5 months together, but I'll never forget that. That started my coaching career, which I'm still doing today. I know that I am personally responsible for all of your success. You're welcome. But I remember you were so competitive. You cared so much. You're such a smart player too, which later on I'm going to talk about Tara Vanderveer commenting on you. Yes, Duffy.
Did you ever have to bench Brooke during that season? And if so, why did you bench her?
I was encouraged to bench her a couple times when we were up by so much.
Fair.
I never remember taking Brooke out because I didn't want her to play.
I feel like you probably could have taken me out for shooting too much. I watched a video of myself playing in 8th grade recently. Not recently, it was like a year ago.
Not true.
And man, I shot the ball a lot.
As well you should have. Shoot or shoot, Brooke. So anyway, it was one of the great joys and privileges of my life to coach you and then to watch you your MC days, Duke, Stanford. So cool. So anyway, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Well, let's start with the WNBA because that's a unique thing here. So you have this life of success, right? You're always the best player. And then even at Stanford, you're really good, right? You're scoring 15 a game. I think you had 17 a game your junior year. Like, you were really, really good. You go to the WNBA, you get drafted, and then you get cut.
Yeah.
What was that like for you to get to like that, the business of basketball? What was that like?
It was devastating. I think it started with the draft. They invited me to go to the draft, and so you expect to go early, and then I saw my name kind of fall. So I was already like a little sort of feeling down about the situation. So I ended up in Minnesota, and you get there, and you guys have talked about it on the podcast before, but the transition in terms of strength, speed, and quickness is just totally different. And so I didn't adjust well in that sense. Like, I wasn't fast enough or strong enough to play right away there. And
how big were you relative to, like?
I was probably around the same height or a little shorter than most post players, but I wasn't strong enough.
And you're 6'3", 6'4"?
I'm 6'3".
Okay.
Yeah. And so they're just stronger than me and faster than me. And the training camp is like 2-day workouts. You're lifting, you're lifting hard. And I would just go home and just be like, so like couldn't move a muscle. Yeah. And so, getting cut then was devastating. Then I got picked up by Connecticut. I was like, oh, I'll make this team. And then I got cut again. And it was devastating. I just thought I was going to, walk into having this great easy pro, I don't know if easy is the right word, but a great pro career. And it was an eye opener.
And we were talking about this a little bit before we started recording, but what was your contract? So you ultimately land in Phoenix.
Yeah,
and what were you
making?
What were you making?
Yeah, the salary for a rookie on a training camp contract was $40,000 for a season. It's a summer season, so it's 4 months, but $40,000 is the rookie contract, or was. It's gotten better, but that was when I played.
So because of that, you see almost all WNBA players go and play, like you did, play overseas the rest of the year to supplement their income, right?
Yeah, pretty much everyone does it. Partly because, the summer season's short, so you have a lot of time to go play overseas. Yeah. And then the salaries over there are better for women, like on a relative basis. And it's all, like, I think I was making around $70,000 or $80,000, but it was tax-free money. So they pay your taxes, they pay your housing, they pay your car. Yeah. So you're basically taking that money home. Okay. Which,
Why is that? Why are the salaries better overseas? Longer season, more fan support, subsidized?
They're subsidized, so they all have like sponsors. And so you've started to see, while I was with the Mercury, they got LifeLock started sponsoring. So there was some more sponsorships that came into play, I think, over here. But over there, they've always had sponsorships, and so that's how they are able to pay more.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, so when you land with the Mercury, who was your coach with the Mercury?
Corey Gaines. He was an old NBA player.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah. So he was our coach for the 3 years I was there. Okay. Yeah.
And you guys won the title?
Yeah, the second year I was there, we won the WNBA Championship.
So who are your best players?
Diana Taurasi. I played with Diana Taurasi, who I think is, in my opinion, the best women's basketball player. She's just one of the most competitive, smartest players I've ever seen on the court. So she was there. Dwana Bonner, who's still playing, was there. And then there was, Penny Taylor. Was probably the other biggest name.
So what was it like to play with DT?
Intense. She plays hard, and she's smart, and she doesn't have any concerns about telling you if you're not doing something right, whether you're just not cheering loudly enough on the bench or whatever it is. She'll let you know. So, but she treats everyone the same. Okay. Yeah. I have a lot of respect for her.
Yeah. And what were the WNBA practices like? Like, you come from, I've been to Tara's practices. Tara's practices were very structured, organized, tough. Yeah. What was WNBA like?
The Mercury, we like to run. That was part of our offense, was just getting the ball up and down the court. So they were, you go to training camp and it's hard. You're working out twice a day. You're doing a ton of running. There's a lot of fitness and drilling. And then immediately once the season starts, you're playing so much that you're really not practicing that much. So it's you get basically all your practices in for the season at the beginning of the year, and then it just turns into sort of more like running through stuff. Occasionally you'll get some real practice in, but otherwise you're kind of like, if you're not playing a ton like I wasn't, you're working out on your own and getting your own time in, so you're doing that on your own.
Yeah. And what's the schedule like? Like, how many games do you guys play in a week in the WNBA?
Probably like between 2 and 4. Yeah.
So is that a grind?
Yeah. I mean, it's especially a grind because you have to remember everyone's playing year round. So like they're coming straight from one season to another.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of basketball. Yeah.
Flying commercial?
Flying commercial. Still flying commercial.
That's crazy.
One of the biggest controversies out there these days.
I know, yeah. WNBA teams do not charter flights, whereas NBA teams, obviously, fully catered experience.
Podcasters fly commercial as well.
No.
Record.
Duff, where did you
This
park?
one does.
Where did you park our Run TMC jet? I can't remember. I couldn't find the keys. All right, Brooke, was it fun to play in the WNBA, or was it hard, or both?
I definitely would start with fun. It's a privilege to get paid to play basketball, and I totally appreciate that. Basketball in general, once it's fun. You're playing a lot. You're playing with the best players. It's not like some cushy gig like the NBA, but it's still a cushy gig, right?
Yeah,
like it's all relative.
Yeah.
But it was hard at times. Like I was missing out on things that family and friends were doing at home, and that part was hard. But that was mostly being overseas because I was, I missed birthdays, I missed weddings, I missed things like that. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I know in college you're so you're living with your teammates often. You're so close. You form these really big close bonds, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even I, as like the practice player, I'm still buddies with the team from then. So, do you form those bonds in the WNBA, or I guess it would be harder because first of all, people can be released, cut, traded.
Yeah.
But
a little more turnover.
A little more turnover. But do you form those bonds with people in the WNBA?
Yeah, I would say that you still are forming really great bonds. Everyone's pretty much, except for people who've been there a long time, are housed in the same building because you're just there for the summer months. So they'll put everybody up in the same area. So you're kind of all in the same place. And you're spending so much time traveling together that you spend a lot of time with people.
Yeah.
It's different. It's not like my college friends are like my lifelong best friends. And so it's different in the WNBA.
Totally.
But you're still getting a lot of good quality time with the people that you're playing with.
Very cool. Do you still follow the WNBA? Do you like?
Yeah, I love watching all women's basketball.
So do I.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark. Be interesting to see what happens this year.
Yeah.
So, how would you assess the league today? I mean, it seems like Duffy and I talked about this. Like the finals this season were great.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and there's some really interesting, exciting stars in the league.
Yeah.
Seems like the league's in a good place. Do you like where the WNBA is going?
I do. It seems like, I'm not that connected with what they've been the changes, but it seems like since Kathy Engelbert, the new commissioner, has come in, she's done a good job of kind of growing the league, kind of improving sort of the name and the image, I'd say, of the WNBA. And then I think also the talent just continues to get better, and so it's just more fun to watch. And I think just getting people to watch and realizing how good the game that's been growing. And the finals this year were really fun to watch. The Chelsea Gray is one of the most entertaining players, I'd say, to watch in the league.
She's incredible.
Yeah.
Actually, I was just talking to Fulton. Obviously, I see him every day, and he was telling me that he had some high school team, might have even been your team, where they played against Kelsey Plum.
That probably wasn't mine.
No, it wasn't you.
Yeah. Probably.
But he said even then, like I think she was at La Jolla. I think she's from San Diego.
Yeah,
but she was unbelievable in high school.
Yeah.
And she continues to be unbelievable. So, all right, very cool. We're going to come back to WNBA. Okay. But now I want to shift gears a little bit and go back to the early days of Brooke Smith. Growing up in San Anselmo, when did you start playing hoops?
I think I was in about 4th grade. My sister, who's 2 years older, was just signed up for CYO basketball, and I would go to her games and shoot around in the court. And I was immediately like, I love this game. And so started playing in 4th or 5th grade. When they started playing then. Now kids play at like kindergarten level, but it used to be 4th or 5th grade. Yeah.
Were you always tall?
I was always tall. I was the tallest person in my class.
Okay.
My entire life.
So, Did you do like skills training on your own, or like how did you get good? Like when I came upon you in 8th grade, you were already a stud. Like you could shoot it. You were really good.
So my parents got divorced when I was young, and my mom remarried a guy when I was around 6th grade, and his name's Jan, and he played basketball in college in Hawaii. And
Very
he's
tall.
6'7".
I remember him.
Yeah, I played in the yard every day. Yeah, so he and I would play. If I could get my sister to play with me, I would. She didn't really want to.
Yeah.
But I just played in the yard. They didn't have skills training like they do these days. It wasn't a thing. I mean, I did eventually. Like Mike definitely did a lot of skills training with me as I got older. But as a elementary school kid, that wasn't a thing.
Tough.
How many times would you estimate did Jan block your shot?
Thousands. Yeah.
But that made you so much better, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'd run in the house screaming and crying afterwards, but eventually I got better.
So is that how you developed the hook shot? Because you had a really good hook shot.
That was Larry Fulton. Yeah,
Yes,
Larry taught me the
Larry.
hook shot. Yeah, at the Fairfax Pavilion. He was the one who was like, "This is how you do it," and then I did it with Jan a ton, and got better. But yeah, that was all Larry.
Like in college, you lived on that hook shot. In college.
Yes, I lived on that. That shot was my.
So you, like I mentioned in the intro, I mean, the thing that jumped out to me when I saw you was you were so competitive.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in like you're a great kid. You were respectful, good teammate, but you were so hard on yourself and driven.
Yes.
So your free time when you're a kid, you're shooting hoops, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. My mom tells the story of I was on the swim team as a kid too, and before I'd get up to dive into the pool, I'd like practically be throwing up. I'd be like so nervous about you know, performing well that some of the parents were like, "What are you doing to her? Like, why does she like this?" My mom was like, "Oh, it's just her." But yeah, I mean, I take it seriously. I always like whatever I'm doing, but sports and basketball, because I loved it so much. I just, I'm a competitive kid.
Indeed. Okay.
Yeah.
So you go from, after amazing 8th grade coaching from me, you go to MC. What was the MCAL like in those days? So you were there from like 98, 99 to 2002.
Yeah. I was actually, before the Marin Athletic Foundation Hall of Fame event, I was talking to Dan Dibble, and he was saying he thinks as well that was like one of the best times for girls basketball in Marin, because the league was pretty good. Tara Linda had Kiki Williams and Diane Peterson, who were great. They were a couple years older than us. Novato had Lisa Goodwin, who played at Colgate, and Cecilia Boye, who I think went to Davis, maybe. And then Katie Christensen was at San Rafael.
Yeah.
So the league was good, and it was a fun time to play. Rick, our coach, he's one of the best people I know, so he was like a great experience to play for him.
Totally. And then you guys, as we talked about, you just had a stacked team. I mean, you guys were really good. You were undefeated in MCAL, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
So my brother and sister went to Drake. I grew up in San Selma. I probably would have gone to Drake, but I started playing AAU in Petaluma with a group with Adrian and Lauren Mikulski, and so that kind of like led us all to Marin Catholic together. And then Nikki Warren just happened to go to Marin Catholic as well, and a couple of the other girls just happened to come along.
Yeah.
But yeah, the AAU kind of brought us all together and allowed that to happen.
So in addition to you're playing at MC, you're playing for Rick, great guy, great team. That's when you started to link up and do some work with Fulton, right?
Yeah.
In high school. Mm-hmm. And so talk about the impact that Fulton had on you.
Yeah, I mean, Mike for sure has had the greatest impact and my stepdad on my basketball career. Yeah. I mean, he's a great coach. He makes everybody just want to do whatever he says. Like, he has a really innate ability to like get people behind him and want to do whatever he says. And he was so fun. Like, we always had so much fun playing with him, even if he's yelling at us 1 minute, the next minute we're having a great time. And he opened the gym for me all the time. He was down at College of Marin, and he'd let us come down and he'd work out with us, do skills training with us, have us play against the College of Marin girls that were better than us. And so that just like pushed us to be better. And I loved it.
So Mike tells stories about he'd be working out with you and like you'd be working on a move and maybe you weren't getting it or you weren't perfect, and you would keep going. And Mike's like, Brooke, like, I have a life, like I have a date, or I have to go somewhere, and you're like
I know, I was going
tough
to say,
shit,
I don't
Mike.
know if he had a life. I'm just kidding.
Let's in quotes. But he just said like you were just tireless. That usually, nowadays it's like I had to drag my daughter to the gym to work out. Duffy's got to drag, our kids to work out. Like for you, you were so self-driven.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it. Like, we'd go down there and play at College of Marin, and my girlfriends, who I loved to death, would just want to chit-chat about the day, and I'd be like, stop talking. Like, we are here to work out. Like, what are you doing?
Coach's dream.
Yeah, I mean, bless Mike's heart, he would let me just keep shooting even after everyone else was done, and he'd stand there and rebound for me. He must have been quite annoyed with me, but yeah, I mean, his time was just so invaluable to me.
Yeah. Trust me, he wasn't annoyed. I mean, coaches love people like you, Brooke. So you win the state for MC. What was that experience like?
I mean, it was kind of like, thank God we did, because I feel like the year before we lost, I think in the finals, the NorCal finals, to St. Mary's of Stockton. And so that felt like a year we probably should have won it then and sort of underachieved. So it was great to win it and kind of go out on top.
Was that a close game, the final?
Yeah, I think it was pretty close. It was against...
I think they won by 15.
Maybe 15, okay,
I was looking that up.
Thanks for checking.
Yep.
We played... I forget the name of the team, but Alexis Kendrick was on the team. She ended up at Georgia. And they were good. But yeah.
You guys were so deep.
We were very deep. We had so many good players. Yeah.
Like, I think I was looking that up. Like, I think you had like 13 or something in that last game, and Adrian had a big game. And you had so many weapons. I mean, that's incredible when you think about it. 8. It was incredible. 8 Division I players.
Yeah.
That would not be fun to play against you guys. Okay, so as you've listened to our podcast, Brooke, thank you for being a listener.
Yeah, it's been great.
We love talking about recruiting journeys, and you have an interesting one.
Yeah.
Right? So I know you landed at Duke, but go take a step back. Where were you? What places were you looking at initially?
I think I really got it down to Duke, Vanderbilt, Stanford, and then UC Santa Barbara were the sort of the top 4 for me. Okay. At the end, those are places I visited. And I wanted a good academic institution as well as basketball, so I was trying to find the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Because for women, basketball does, and for men, for everybody really, you know, basketball rarely is making your life. So I wanted to get a good education as well. And I didn't know. It was like Duke and Stanford. I could not make a decision. I was 18 years old. Like, what 18-year-old knows what they want to do? I don't know. So I ended up at Duke, and it was a good experience. It wasn't the right fit for me. It was too far from home. The basketball wasn't a good basketball for me.
Yeah.
The style of play was not a place where I felt like I was going to ever be, you know, good. There were girls that were similar to me and had very, like, you know, isolated roles on that team, and so it just didn't seem like the right fit.
And so Tara, when Tara's recruiting you initially, and you're choosing between, was it Gail?
Guest in course,
Yeah. So how much did the coach factor into your? I mean, I know you ultimately landed at Stanford, but like when you're going through it, so you want a good academic institution. Like, kind of weigh the different factors that you're looking at, like the players, the system, the coach, all those things.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a lot to ask like a 18-year-old to have an understanding of all of those things. And so, you know, I wanted a team that had been winning. I wanted to win. I wanted to get a good education. I wanted to play. That was important to me too.
Yeah.
And I thought at the time that would work out for me at Duke, but it just wasn't a good fit. And and honestly, I'm a bit of a homebody. Like, I was much happier being an hour from home rather than across the country.
Yeah.
So I was grateful that Stanford gave me the opportunity again to come back. in retrospect, I'm kind of shocked that I was able to make that decision. Sometimes I have trouble like deciding about those things. So
That's a big
kind
decision.
of like, yeah, it was a big decision to be like, I'm going to change colleges.
And you're going to
after
sit out a
first
year.
Yeah, and sit out a year. Which I think turned out to be one of the best years for me, because it gave me a year to just play, get stronger, get better, and have no pressure. So I just played on the scout team every day, and was able to like show what I could do without the pressure of like, can you perform right now?
Yeah.
And so I think I gained a lot of the coaches' confidence during that year.
How much attention did the coaches give you during that year?
It was a different kind of attention, right? Like they wanted me to do stuff on the scout team, but I definitely had the opportunity to like show what I was capable of during that time. So it really worked out well for me, I think.
That's
having
great.
That year.
Just a note to the listeners, you might be hearing snoring in the background, and it's not me, Dave. It's not you. It is Kenya. Kenya wearing her Christmas sweater.
Our podcast dog.
Having a nice little nap underneath the table.
The resonant hum of Kenya's snoring. Okay, I want to get to your Stanford experience, Brooke, but real quick, let's make a quick pit stop to a little thing called the McDonald's All-American Game.
Yeah.
So I assume our listeners know what this is, but this is the most prestigious award a high school basketball player can get. How many make this team?
I think there's probably like 20-ish.
Yeah, from
like
around the
10
country.
10 on each side or something.
Yeah,
like that.
crazy. And you made it. The only one in the history of Marin. If you walk into the Marin Catholic gym, you can see Brooks McDonald's jerseys there. What was that like playing in that game?
It was pretty cool. It was the inaugural game, so it was the first time they'd had a women's game.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it was the very first one. My mom brought over a box of like my stuff the other day, and my son picked out the like little brochure with all the players on it, which is pretty fun to see. Like Carmelo Anthony's in there, like so many like big name players were there at the games, and it was a big deal. My parents were really kind and brought Mike and Rick out to the experience, and so they got to come watch. And it was very intimidating because this is just like, the best of the best.
Where is it played?
Madison Square Garden.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So
New York City.
New York City, yeah. It was awesome. It was really cool and something I'm very proud of.
How'd you do? Did you score?
Yeah, I think I did okay. I don't remember. You'd have to look it up.
I'll look it up.
But
you remember, did they serve you a Big Mac afterwards? or both?
I'm sure there was plenty of it in there.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay. You go to a little school called Stanford.
Yeah.
Discuss playing for Tara. What did you learn from her?
Tara was...
Duffy's pulling up. We're in my kitchen by our Christmas tree. I have a Stanford ornament. Duffy just provided it, put it on the table to give.
Plunkett?
That's Jim Plunkett. Yeah, 16. Yes.
Stanford was good. It was like I said, I feel like I had a good opportunity to kind of like set myself up to succeed there, and that helped. And the system worked for me. I had the opportunity to do what I can do well, which is like score and pass and play in the post. And she played a kind of game which was like a pretty controlled game. Like we had plays, we had sets, we ran offense. And that's something that works well for my style of play. So it was a good fit for me.
So we've talked a lot about the differences in today's game versus then, right? So did you shoot threes ever?
Occasionally, but Tara is very clear who has the green light and who doesn't have the green light.
You better make it, Brooke, or she's not going to be happy.
I can vividly remember pulling up the whiteboard and there's like a list of what makes a shot a good shot and what doesn't. And, like there's a long list of what makes it a good shot.
Right.
And there rarely was a good shot for me. So not a ton, no.
Okay. I mean, I would think that in today's game, because you look at like Ash Prechtel and I mean, some of the players that she recruits who are 6'3", 6'4", and they're 3-point shooters.
Yeah, I mean, Kristen Newland, who was my teammate and one of my good friends, she was a 6'5" post player from Wyoming, and she could shoot. Like that was a good shot for her.
Okay.
We didn't have the same technology that they do now, but we would definitely like shoot shots at the end of practice, and you would get your stats written out on a piece of paper, and they would tell you what your percentage is. And some people's percentage meant they had the green light, and others meant they didn't.
Okay.
So
there you go. So being a D1 athlete, I mean, balancing academics, athletics, social life, being at like free time. I mean, how did you? I know you're a super driven, competitive person. You got a motor, but was that hard for you to manage balance when you're a D1 athlete like that at that high level D1?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know any different, so I don't have anything to compare it to necessarily.
Yeah.
But it was all manageable. I think there were times where I maybe shied away from taking on, like, doing something more in research or something like that because I just didn't have the time, or I didn't feel like I had the time. I think you can do it all, but you just have to pick and choose what's most important.
You're a physician assistant now.
Yeah.
Would you have considered doing like the pre-med if it weren't for basketball?
I mean, I did hum bio at Stanford.
Human biology. Stanford abbreviates everything.
Oh yeah, human biology. So I guess I didn't take all the prereqs to do pre-med. But no, I don't. I'm not sure.
My experience, at least at D3 Haverford, was the people that were pre-med, they had labs in the afternoon, and they would miss like a couple practices a week because it had to be in lab for biology or whatever. And so that actually caused me to not, be pre-med because I didn't want to miss practice.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to start.
Right.
Yeah. Tara would have we would adjust our practice time based on people's like class requirements.
That's the difference between D1 and D3.
Yeah.
So.
Duffy, you guys also lost like 40 games in a row, right? Or was that before? That was before you.
That was before.
Okay, sorry, I don't want to bring it up. But Brooke, Duffy lost 40 games.
The Stanford women's program, yes. Haverford men's program. There is a bit of a disparity. I will admit that.
A little bit of a difference. I love you, Duffy. Okay. Brooke, winning a title in the WNBA.
Yeah.
I want to know you're back to the WNBA. I'm interested in this. How satisfying was that for you? Like, you won a title in high school with MC. Was it more satisfying to win the state title in MC than the WNBA title, or like compare the feelings?
Getting married or having children. Yeah. Where does it rank?
Of all your successes.
It was different. I wasn't playing a ton, so I was kind of like a little bit along for the ride, which as like a competitive person who likes to play, you don't feel quite as sort of involved in the success in the same way. And not to take away from, because every person on the team is important, and I definitely think you have to have the right end of the bench in order to win a championship too. So I'm not trying to say that doesn't matter what I did, but sort of the connectedness to that championship was different.
Yeah.
But definitely one of the coolest things that's happened to me, and very proud of it, and really felt good to be a part of that team. And I think the team as a group worked really hard to win a championship. And that season, so one of my closest teammates at the time was Allie Quigley, who now played for the Chicago Sky when they recently won a championship. But she and I got halfway through the season, and Penny Taylor was coming back from Australia. So it was basically between her and I who was going to get cut for Penny Taylor to come back.
Oh, wow.
And Allie ended up getting cut, and I made the team. And I think primarily it was because I was a good practice player. Like, I could play all 5 positions in practice. Mm-hmm. Like, I knew every offense in all 5 positions.
Yeah.
And so I think it just allowed him more versatility at practice, and that's why I got kept. And Allie, interestingly, got cut and then ended up making the Chicago Sky team, where she eventually worked her way up to be a starter, like multi-time All-Star, has won the 3-point shooting competition, and then they won their first championship and beat the Phoenix Mercury, not this year, but the year
that was with
year
Candace,
before. Yeah,
right?
with Candace Parker.
Candace Parker, yeah.
So she has an awesome story. But yeah, that year I won, it was definitely like, I was on the chopping blocks there, and happy to be on there.
Man, that's stressful.
Yeah.
I have a question about the up-tempo style with the Mercury and sort of how that was structured. I see a lot of teams now, we've tried to do this, like get the ball in quickly and then push it up the sideline.
Yeah.
But I think, back when I was playing in college, was often, push it up the middle. So did you have certain rules or principles, for playing up tempo?
Yeah, it was the sideline.
Yeah.
And there was a very particular way, the point guard was supposed to come swooping through the bottom of the key and catch it on the go, and you're supposed to fire it up the side, and she's supposed to, be 1 or 2 dribbles before the ball's up out of her hands to the wing up the side.
And did you do in practice a shot clock, a different, like a 10 or 12 second shot clock in practice?
We would do that sometimes. Oh, you mean just to get the ball up quickly?
Yeah. Well, just to play fast and like, practice getting quick shots.
Yeah, not necessarily a shot clock, but like any drill we did was like we had that same outlet that had to be done, and then we would do sprinting drills that were literally just like running the court with that outlet to get the ball up the court. Yeah. So it was like we had to be, and we had to get like, there was one where we had to go down back 5 times and everyone had to get a shot, and you had to do it in like, I don't know, 25 seconds or something like that. But everyone had a shot out of that had to be done with the outlet done 5 times. Anyways, it was
You're
hard.
making me tired.
Yeah.
Didn't Corey Gaines go to Loyola Marymount?
I think so.
And that's, the famous like run and gun we were talking about with Rick Winter. I'm pretty sure he was on those teams.
Is it Paul Westhead?
Paul Westhead,
yeah, because
exactly.
he was the prior coach at the Mercury before.
Oh, okay.
Corey, yeah.
So, you got to be in shape.
Yes, you had to be in shape.
Good times. Okay, Brooke, let's talk about visiting the White House. Who was president when you went?
So I got George Bush the first time when I just was along for the ride, and then Biden the second time. I mean, sorry, Obama the second time, not Biden.
Well, Joe was there. He was VP. So that must have been a cool experience.
Yes. It was really cool.
Yeah.
George Bush actually was like, wanted to chit chat and like hang out and was a little more sociable.
Yeah.
And Obama was a little more business.
Yeah.
He was new on the job.
Did he want to talk? I mean, Obama's a hooper, right? Did he want to talk hoops?
I think he had a lot going on that day because he came out, he did the photos. He was kind and like said nice words and stuff, but he wasn't like, hey, let's hang out. He was like, he had an agenda.
Probably had some situation room things going on.
Yeah.
But,
something more
I've
important.
seen some videos. I think maybe he was shooting contest with Clark Kellogg.
Yeah.
And like his signature for when he hits a shot is a rap, right? He'd be like, rap.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Incorporate that.
He's cool about everything, right?
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about your Italy experience, because that's pretty cool. So how did you get hooked up in Italy? Did you have an agent who helped you do that?
So I had an agent when I graduated, and he got me a job and said Italy's, gave me a couple options, and I was like, Italy sounds good. Sounded like a good place to be. So I went over there. I was in a small town called Viterbo, which is like an hour north of Rome.
Okay.
And it was, it was a different experience.
You speak the language?
I didn't. I took a class before I went. I learned Italian. I now speak Italian.
Sweet.
But it was different. It's not a vacation. You're practicing twice a day, 6 days a week. So you're working. And it's a little isolating.
Where do you live? Do you live with your teammates? Or
some of them. So some of them live in the same place as you, and then other people, if they are from the area, live in their own places. There was one other American on the team, and then you had 2 other European players. So I had a Greek teammate, and then I think Serbian my first year. At first I was like, what am I doing over here? This is wild.
Yeah.
And then I kind of started to like it because I like to play basketball, and I ended up playing there a year, and then and we weren't very good, and I ended up at Lake Como the next year, and played there for 2 years.
It's beautiful up there.
It was great. I was there in the winter, not the summer, but it was still really nice, and a nice place to be. I liked that a lot better. We were close to Milan, so we could go in there and see other Americans and stuff like that.
Hang out with Clooney?
Clooney, no, but everyone asks me that.
I'll text George for you.
Yeah. And then my 4th year, I was down on a team called Taranto, which is like in the heel of the boot of Italy. Mm-hmm. And that was a EuroLeague team. So that was a team that played in Italy and then also played against other European teams. And I ended up getting cut halfway through that season. So around Christmas, they cut me and had Sophia Young, a girl from Baylor, come. And so that's when I ended up moving to France, played half a season in France, and then went back to Como for my last year and played again.
How did you stack up in Italy as a player? Like, were you one of the better players?
The Americans are the better players on the teams in general. There's some great Italian players, but they're sort of like dispersed amongst the teams. And so the Americans are, generally speaking, some of the strongest players.
And did you, back to, your 8th grade when you said you shot a lot, did you feel like you had to shoot a lot in Italy?
I mean, we were relied on to score as Americans, so I would shoot a lot. But most of my teams were pretty good. We'd have some other players that could score and do some different things. And when I ended up playing in Como, I had brought my teammate from Stanford, Jillian Harmon, over, and so she played with me. And we got another Cameo Hicks who went to University of Washington, ended up with a passport, so she was playing with us too. So. Yeah, it ended up being pretty fun.
Cool. We interviewed Kenny Woodard. We haven't released it yet. Actually, by the time we release this one, Kenny's episode might be live. But and he played pro ball in Mexico and Puerto Rico, and he tells a story about like his first game. I think it was in Mexico. He had 2 points, and the coach pulled him aside and said, like, "Look, you're here to score.
Yeah, that's not what you're here for." Yeah.
Basically, can't have another game like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Got it."
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Like the Americans, the imports, it feels like they're bringing you there for a reason. Like you got to put the ball in the basket.
Right. Yes, they're paying you more of the money, and your job is to make them win. And if you don't, then they'll find someone else who will.
Right.
So you're.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole system over there is different. If they don't like you, then you're done. And if they run out of money, then they stop paying you, and you're still supposed to play, and things like that just wouldn't happen in the U.S.
Totally.
I will note that Brooke's purse with a Run TMC T-shirt in it is currently where Kenny was when we interviewed Kenny.
That's why we pay Duffy the big bucks, because he makes those observations. He makes really astute observations, even though they lost 40 games in a row in college. Okay, Brooke. When did you decide to hang up, stop playing ball? Or professionally, I should say.
Yeah.
Because I know you still play, but.
Yeah, sort of. So I played overseas for 5 years. 3 of them, I did the WNBA in the middle. So the year before I played my last season in Italy, I didn't get re-signed for the WNBA team, and so I was no longer under the rookie contract, so I was going up to like the vet minimum, and as at the end of the bench, you can get a rookie to sit at the end of the bench. Like you don't need
your expensive end of the bench
too expensive
asset.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So I didn't make a team, and I was kind of like I had some chances to go to training camps, and I just wasn't that interested in doing it at that point.
So how old were you at this point?
I was probably like 28.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I ended up going back overseas and playing one last year in Lake Como. And then that was when the economy started to go down. So the team literally stopped paying, I think, the last 3 or 4 months of the season.
Oh, wow.
And so at that point I was like, if I'm not making money, then this isn't probably something I want to keep doing. And a lot of my friends were starting to like get married and kind of move on with their lives. And I was like, wait, I want to do some of those things too.
Yeah.
So it felt like time.
So have you thought about coaching?
Yeah, I have. I actually very much after listening to your podcast as well, just because it's been
mission accomplished stuff.
Yeah, it's been fun to.
So I'm gonna read you a quote from our friend Tara Vanderveer. This was in an article. I'm sure you've seen this, but this is Tara Vanderveer talking about Brooke Smith. Quote: I kind of was hoping she'd go into coaching. Brooke was a very intelligent player. She really understood the game of basketball and could make adjustments during a game, which is really rare, especially for front court players. She was an extremely good post player. She had great back-to-the-basket moves and was deceptive, a very heady player. She took a lot of charges, while a lot of post players want to block shots. She was a good passer, a good scorer, a good free throw shooter. In end-of-game situations, you wanted the ball in her hands because she would knock down the free throws. It's pretty high praise.
Yeah, it was nice.
What she didn't say was it was all her 8th grade A St. Rita's coach. But, I mean, that you should be a coach, Brooke.
Yeah, I mean, when I stopped playing basketball, I didn't want to go into coaching because I felt like so much of my life for so long had been on a basketball schedule that I was like, I need to regain some of my own time. And now I just don't have time because I have 2 little kids. But ideally, I would like to do some coaching at some point. Yeah.
So I think when your kids get a little older, put a basketball in their hands, maybe that's the gateway drug.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a Nerf hoop yet for them?
We have one. No, not a Nerf hoop.
Or like one of
the little ones, the mini hoops. Yeah, we have the mini hoops. So my son, who's in TK, has started doing like the mini basketball at Strawberry Rec Center, which has been hilarious.
Yes, that's awesome.
He can't get the ball there unless he goes underhand because he's just only 4.
So it begins.
So fun.
So is your husband an athlete, basketball player?
He played basketball in high school, and then he went to Brown and did some practice player for the women's team as well. Yep.
Sounds like a good guy. I like him.
And then he loves basketball, but not as at a high of a level.
Well, yeah, I mean,
recommendation for the Nerf hoop, a little bit older, the one like you put on the door.
Oh yeah.
And then because it's like with a smaller ball, so you can get the elbow in. Because you see a lot of kids like they want to chuck it up with the elbow out.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Good advice.
Yeah.
I'll try that.
Okay. Every now and then, Duffy says useful things. All right, Brooke, we've reached crunch time.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
It's a big moment.
Kenya would like to crunch on something right now.
Kenya's snoring has stopped, which is nice. Okay, toughest player you've ever played against in Marin?
In Marin. Kiki Williams.
Great player.
Yeah.
Played at TL for Fulton.
Yeah.
Played at Cal.
Yeah.
For Karen Horsemeyer.
Yeah. She was just, she was a couple years older than me, and she was a little quicker than me, and she could shoot. And so she was, I was just a little intimidated by her. But yeah, she was a really good Marin basketball player.
She was really good. I mean, I would think also just like your practices at MC, you're playing against some pretty good players too, right?
I mean, Nikki Warren's obviously another easy one to say too there.
Yeah.
She was my teammate, so I'll keep her on that side.
Yeah, okay, good. Okay, toughest player you've played against overall?
This is a tough one. I mean, probably either Jane Appel, who was on my teammate at Stanford, who she was a freshman when I was a senior, and she then played for the San Antonio Stars before they moved to Vegas. But she's just one of the strongest people I know. So she's a very tough person to guard. And then Sylvia Fowles is probably the other person who's a phenomenal post player from LSU, who played for the Minnesota Lynx for a long time.
Awesome. Favorite coaches and players to watch? College, pro, whatever.
I like watching all basketball, especially women's basketball. Right now, I really enjoy watching Brianna Stewart. I think she is very fun to watch. She plays the game with her head and is really smart. Chelsea Gray, I already mentioned her, but of the Aces. And then Caitlin Clark, I think, is probably one of the most fun players in college basketball to watch, men's or women's. She's really fun to watch. And then I love watching Stanford. So Cameron Brink, that whole team I watch. Yeah. And then actually, I don't know if you guys have seen USC play, but Juju Watkins, who's a freshman at USC, does not look like a freshman. She is very good. So that's been fun to see her.
I know. I'm very sad about the dissolution of the Pac-12.
Me too. Yeah.
And for women's basketball in particular, because there's some great teams. I mean, UCLA is really good. USC is really good. Arizona's good, right? Adia's doing a great job there.
Still have the Pac-2 at this point?
Yeah, I don't know what Oregon State and Washington State are doing.
Aren't they going to the Mountain West or something like that?
I don't know. They probably will. That's my assumption. But
it just really, really is sad.
It's a bummer. But yeah, I've seen Juju play. She's great. USC's got some real talent.
Yeah.
So this wasn't on the list, but I'm just curious. So when you were at Stanford, who did you guys want to beat the most? Like, was it UConn, Gino, or like who was your?
Gosh, we had some great rivalries. ASU was really good at that time and a very physical team that we definitely didn't like very much. So that was always like a big competitive battle with ASU. And then UCLA was really good. They had like Nikki Blue, Lisa Willis, Noelle Quinn. So they were really good. So those were probably those are the people that we played the most. So kind of like the most common.
Yeah. When I was way back in the day when I was there, Pat Summitt was at Tennessee.
Yes.
And Gino was at UConn.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think you probably found this too, right? Like I remember the girls on our team were so up for those games because they were all the players they played against in All-American games. They'd gone on recruiting trips with them. You get to know those elite players, so they just wanted to kick their ass. Yeah. So that was really fun.
Yeah, we had Tennessee. We played back and forth with them, and that was always a big game.
That environment must have been crazy. going to that arena.
Yes.
Crunch time, dude.
Okay. Brooke, from Tennessee to Marin, favorite gym in Marin?
Marin Catholic. But second would probably be Drake.
Good answers.
Yeah.
Good answers. Okay, your dream team. You're heading down to play pickup. You and 4 others.
Are these supposed to be Marin people or anybody people?
I don't know, Duff. What do you want to do?
Marin.
Marin people?
Marin.
Okay. Then this is just my high school basketball team. Adrian, Lauren, Nikki, and then Lauren Nestor, yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I don't think you guys are going to lose many games.
Yeah.
Favorite Marin restaurant, Brooke?
If I'm going with my kids, then we're probably going to Pizza Hacker at the Junction.
Love that place.
And if I'm going without my kids, probably Farm Shop. We did our after wedding party there, so it kind of has a special place in our hearts.
Okay, how about growing up when you were a kid? What was your favorite restaurant in Marin?
It's weird. When we were little, we didn't eat out the way people eat out these days. We got like Papa Murphy's takeout pizza and cooked it at home.
I remember
that was
that
the
place.
extent of our eating out as kids.
Brooke was just too busy shooting hoops.
The Sizzler.
The Sizzler, we did hit that one up.
Exactly. Duffy, do you have anything else that I've...
Do I have anything else? Your favorite type of Labrador Retriever, black, chocolate, or yellow?
A golden retriever, can I say that?
You can say golden.
Okay, yeah, we were a golden retriever growing up, yeah.
Awesome. Well, Brooke, so good to see you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And
It's been really fun.
I meant everything I said at the beginning.
Thanks.
You had a big impact on me, even though I was coaching you. And I love seeing you now as a mom, and I'm hoping to see you as a coach soon.
Yeah, maybe so.
But you've had a huge impact on Marin basketball. You're a legend. So thank you for the time.
Well, thank you guys for doing the podcast. It's been really fun to listen to and kind of bring back so many memories for me and relive a lot of like growing up and playing basketball. Oh, and if you guys have any way to put on your website like what games in Marin are being played in high school.
Oh, that's a good point.
That would be, because it's really hard to find out like what, you have to like go to all these different websites to find out what's
That's a
going
great
on.
idea. Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah, with all your
We'll talk to our friend,
Yeah.
Angela Ballard.
Thank you, Angela.
All right. Thanks, Brooke.
All right, thank you.
Great job.
Burke's on his feet. He looks up and gives me a grin and says,